Hey guys, so today I filmed a tutorial. This one is a little bit different because I did the whole face and I did the eyes for you, just so you guys can kind of see how I get a flawless finish on my face and a really quick and easy defined eye that doesn't take a lot of products. I am using one of my new holiday kits that I purchased, and it's the one from Tarte that looks like this, and it comes in its own little makeup bag with a blush product in there, some lip glosses, and the eyeshadows. So the eyeshadows is what I'm using in the tutorial, with quite a few of the products that come in this holiday kit, which I think is pretty amazing and awesome, and I love it. So I hope you guys will enjoy this tutorial and you can kind of see how I get ready in the mornings. Really quick and easy, simple products to create a flawless look on my face that I feel comfortable wearing, and it covers my scars and my flaws, and at the same time I have a defined eye that looks polished and put together. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy it, and if you want to see how I get my look every morning, then keep watching. Okay, so prior to filming, I went ahead and washed my face and applied my Origins Vitazing moisturizer. That's what I'm using today as my actual moisturizer, and I mixed it with a little bit of primer because I knew I was using a liquid foundation, and I mixed it with Benefit's That Gal Brightening Primer. And I just use my fingers to apply it. Now for the foundation portion, I'm actually going to be using a foundation that's relatively new to me. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Treatment Makeup, and it comes with the applicator. It matches my concealer that I absolutely love. My shade is, let's see, where are the shades? 130 Buff Beige. So what I like about this is that I can actually just draw this product on and not have to use my fingers at all. Most liquid foundations, you do have to use a pump and use your fingers, but just basically right all over your face, just like that. It is a little bit lighter, so I use bronzer to help kind of match it to my skin tone. The brush that I use to blend it in is the Sigma Flat Kabuki brush. It's the F80, and it looks like that. And basically, I'm just going to buff this in. As you can see, it doesn't provide a lot of coverage. I have some scarring left over from previous breakouts, but there's nothing I can do about that. So basically I just blend this foundation in. This brush makes it super easy to do this. I mean, it takes literally no time at all for me to get this foundation blended into my skin. And that Origins Vitazing moisturizer gives my face a little bit of a tint, a nice little glow. So it helps when I'm wearing a foundation that's a little bit lighter. And then if you want, you can just wipe off any excess that's on the brush and then go back over. And I also bring it below my jawline here. Okay. So next, I apply my concealer. I'm using the concealer, the Eraser Dark Circle Treatment Concealer that actually matches the foundation. I wear shade Light in this, and this is what I use underneath my eye. And again, just placing it underneath this area here. You don't have to be too precise. For blending that in, I use the Tapered Kabuki brush, the F86 from Sigma, which is the pointed one. It's just slightly dirty, but I use it every day and I absolutely love this brush. And these products really blend just so easily into the skin where I don't have to worry about working overtime to get a product to work for me. So just blending this in. And then I just use my finger just to kind of melt that product right into the skin, especially right in this inner corner here. And on this outer corner where I'm kind of red here. And here in this inner corner, this little inner pocket here. And then what I use to set this concealer underneath my eye is the Bare Minerals Well Rested. It comes in a little jar like that. And it's just, they're well rested. Hopefully my camera will focus. If not, that's what it's called. I use just a little bit in the cap You can just pour just a tiny little amount in there, and I run that all over my under eye area for a nice brightening effect. And I just tap off the excess on here. And I'm using a really old, not concealer, but it's a crease brush, that's what I meant to say, from Sigma not from Sigma, but from Coastal Scents that I've had for about 3 years now. That's what I use to put this powder right over my concealer. Then from here I move on to concealing any little spots that I may have. But before that, I do want a little bit of extra coverage, so I go over my foundation, my liquid foundation, with my Laura Geller makeup, and this is the Balance and Brighten in regular. And I use a paddle brush from Sigma. It's the old numbering is the SS134, but it's just the paddle brush that's a little bit pinched down at the bottom. Then I'm going to take some of that and run it all over my face. Okay, so the next step for concealing is to conceal my scars that kind of still poke through with the foundation, because that foundation is super thin, and I don't use a lot of powder either because I don't like to have a full coverage foundation or a caked on mess. I use the Bobbi Brown Face Touch Up Stick in number 3, which is beige, and I basically just take it and apply it right over where I have any sort of discoloration or scarring. And then I take a synthetic brush. This is the base shadow brush from Real Techniques that you get from Ulta. And then I blend this right over the powder. Now this product blends very easily over that Laura Geller powder, where I don't have to worry about it lifting up any of the product, and I just kind of stamp it over where I need it. Then again on this side here, I need a little bit more here. Alright, so whatever's left on the brush, I just run it around my nose. Not really necessary, but that's just how I do it. Then I take a little bit of my Tarte Smooth Operator translucent setting powder with the same brush that I use for under my eyes. I just wipe it down, and I tap off the excess, and then I just kind of stamp this powder right over where I applied concealer, just to kind of seal the concealer in, and I don't have to worry about it being lifted by blush and bronzer. So now it's time to move on to the eyes. Okay, for the eyes are probably the easiest look that I've ever done, and I love it because it's just really nice and defined, lots of mascara, but it looks very soft and very put together and polished. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my highlight shade, which the color is called Georgia Peach, and it's from the new Tarte Holiday Kit, and it's this matte peach shade, which is part of the peach and purple quad. So I'm using a double-ended brush from Sigma. It's the E55 and then the E40, and mine came out of the Flare palette. So just taking the E55 side, sorry, taking that Georgia Peach, which is a matte peach shade, and I'm applying that right underneath my brow bone and running that right underneath my lower lash line as well. And then you can bring it in here if you'd like, in this inner pocket. But I just want a little bit of a matte shade here. Taking that same brush, I'm going to go in with the color Pyramid Gold, which is going to be in the first set of quads, and it's going to be this shade here, which is kind of like a taupey, goldeny shade that I absolutely love, and it looks really nice and gold on the lid. So taking on the same E55 brush and just patting that all over the lid, taking the brush on the side and pulling the color all the way up, just shy of where you put the Georgia Peach color. You want to leave a little bit of a space. And it's super easy to do this look. And then if you want, you can take the brush, the E40 side, which is the crease side, and kind of just go around the edges just to soften that and make it fade into your brow bone. taking a little bit of that same Pyramid Gold, and I'm going to go on the lower lash line just to kind of create a connection between the lower lashes and the upper lid. And that's pretty much it for eyeshadow. The next thing I'm going to do is take a small eyeliner brush, which this is my favorite one. It is from Coastal Scents, and I'm taking the color Volcanic Ash, which is right next to the Pyramid Gold. And this one is a kind of like a black and gray with a little bit of a golden sparkle. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up the gold in it, but it's a beautiful shade. So that's the color that we're going to pick up, just a little bit of it on the brush, tapping off the excess. And this is what we're going to use as our eyeliner to softly define our lash line here. And if you get too much, you can always take a brush and kind of buff it out a little bit, just to create a little hint of a shadowed effect right at the base of the lashes, and then you can use the tip of the brush just to kind of connect it right in this outer portion here. Then I'm going to take that same color with the same brush, and I'm going to run that really close to my lashes at the base of my lash line, my lower lash area. And then with my finger, I'm going to just soften those edges out. You can use a brush, but I'm just going to use my fingers because it's quicker and easier. And now it's just time for some tight lining, which is something I always do. You can skip this step, but it's taking a creamy black eyeliner pencil. I always use the Urban Decay Zero, and running it right in this flap of skin right here at the base of your upper lash line. And what that helps create is the illusion of a thicker, fuller lash line, especially if you have like little gaps, or if sometimes your lashes do naturally shed, and sometimes you have a little gap or two, and that helps kind of seal the deal so you can't tell. For mascaras, I'm using two of them just because they're getting ready to be tossed. I'm using the Almay One Coat Nourishing Mascara, the Triple Effect one, with my L'Oreal Voluminous False Lash Mascara. So I'm going to start off with one coat of Almay, and then follow with another coat of
Okay, so to
L'Oreal.
complete the rest of the look, I just need to add some bronzer because I'm still feeling a little pasty. My bronzer that I always use is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I just take a kind of dome shaped, like an egg shaped brush. This is one from Sigma. The old numbering is the SS138. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this bronzer, and I'm going to run it at the base of my hairline by my temples, a little bit on my cheeks, and below my jawline. And this just kind of perks up my skin. I'm hoping that you can kind of tell the difference. And whatever's left, I just run it in the center of my face, on the sides of my nose. And this brush sheds quite a bit. And then I just take the rest of it and I blend it down. Just because sometimes I may end up with a little too much bronzer. Oh man, my brush is shedding quite a bit. Okay. For blush, I'm actually going to use the blush that came in the Tarte Holiday Kit, which I showed you. It's the one that comes in its own little makeup bag. And the blush that you get in this kit is called Adventurous. And it's a nice kind of berry shade. Let me get my tweezers. These ones are a little bit harder to open. It's a nice berry shade with a little bit of a kind of like a pinky gold sheen to it. And I'm actually going to use the blush brush that came in the palette, or the kit. And I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheek and blend it backwards towards my hairline, and then pulling it down just a little bit. And this is just the perfect berry tone blush. It's just awesome. I love it. I'm a big fan of their 12-hour blushes, the Amazonian ones. I've even bought their holiday kits set of them, which I showed you in my holiday gift giving ideas. So if you haven't watched that video, it's a good video with some ideas. So
That looks good for blush for me. Then for my lips, I'm just going to keep it super simple and easy. I'm going to use one of the lip glosses that came in the set. This is just one that's a little bit of a kind of like a sparkly fuchsia color. The names I don't know. They're not listed on the inside nor on the outside of the box. So any fuchsia, even a berry tone, this look really allows you to do whatever you want with your lips because the look is super, super easy. And that is it. That's all it takes to complete a flawless face and a defined eye look without it being too much work, without it being too much of a hassle. It's super easy. And with this kit, I really love working with these eyeshadows from Tarte. They blend very easily. You will be seeing more tutorials with me using these eyeshadows because they're awesome. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you can kind of get an idea of how I do my face routine, because the foundation portion of the video is what I do on a regular basis. Not every day do I use a liquid foundation, but when I do, I always go over it with a little bit of powder just to kind of set it. And it really takes no time at all. Before filming, I did use my brow product, and I used the Revlon Brow Fantasy in brunette. It has a pencil and a colored brow gel or tinted brow gel on the other end, and I did that before just to save time. But my eyebrow tutorial is going to be coming up soon, showing you how I do it, because I get questions a lot about how I groom my eyebrows and the maintenance of them, so that will be in a separate video. So again, thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial, and all the products that I use will be listed in the info box, so expand that below. And links to my Twitter will be on there as well, so that you can follow me there if you're interested. And I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.